Hello, everybody. Lucci here from Kaizen and Kaizen Talks. And yeah, as you all know, and I've said it very loud and clear on the other ones that I'm not actually the Piers Morgan of martial art talk shows yet or podcasters. There's a lot of people a lot better than me. I'm doing this so I can introduce you to the key instructors and the key people in Kaizen. My guest today is Stuart Usher. He's a 6th degree black belt in Taekwondo and a 4th degree black belt in kickboxing. He's the head coach of the British Taekwondo Association, who are one of our main sponsors of Kaizen, hence the reason why I wanted him on here, so you can all meet him and say hello. He was the guy from last year, if you can remember. He was the guy chopping all the boards and doing all the board chopping, which was and the awesome Taekwondo seminar, which he did. And he's also associated with Universal Karate Kickboxing World Association, who are also, excuse me, who are also, again, another one of our key sponsors. So on the behalf of myself and the old Kaizen team, Stuart, thank you very much for sponsoring us again and your support. Now, you might have seen Stuart on TV a couple of years ago. He's based in Scunthorpe in North Lincolnshire, and a great achievement this is for anybody in any types of sport. He won the BBC Sports Personality of the Year for his region. Stuart, I've got to congratulate you again on that.
Thank you very much.
What a awesome achievement, mate. How did all that happen? I know I saw the sign. I saw the clip where they came into your class and you was teaching, and you just turned like a camera in your face with a BBC. What was that experience? Like, I don't know how that start, mate.
That was huge. That was honestly one of the biggest things in my life. Next to my family, married, having kids. Absolutely huge. It comes down like he was the unsung hero. So he was BBC Sports Personality of the Year unsung hero, which I believe you got nominated for. I've known quite a few of my fellow martial art friends have been nominated. But all it comes down to is somebody that likes what you do, think that you're doing something great for the community, and they apply to the BBC for your region, which my region covered East Yorkshire and all of Lincolnshire. I think there was about 30 nominations. I was shortlisted into 10, which went to a panel from people from Sports England, BBC, really high up people in our region. And they apparently unanimously chose me based on the information given from the mother of one of them. Well, I actually at the time trained her husband and her son and her daughter. Just basically loved what we did. And I've had loads of parents through our classes, whether it be mini ninjas at 4 to 6, whether it be juniors 7 to 12 or adults to whatever age, they all come to me and like building confidence. They've seen a challenge outside of the training, and because of the training, thought I'm going to go for that, and they've achieved it. All this sort of, I've given that strength, and it's a way of them thanking their instructors, other people that's been nominated. And so to actually get that, they came to us twice, the BBC, to film us, and they told us that I'd been shortlisted. So I'm being interviewed and given all this. And on one of the interviews, when it was actually on TV in our area, you sort of think, well, I didn't look excited enough when they first interviewed me. But that's because I'd only been told I was shortlisted. I wasn't told I'd won. It wasn't until the second time they visited that they actually said, oh, we've chosen our winner, and give me a really serious look. And then we'd like you to be it. And I was tears and all this. It's just an amazing feeling. I've got a lot of respect for those that get to that. Those that's been nominated, you've done something amazing. Yeah. Somebody has taken that time to nominate you.
Fabulous. Do you know what? I got those. Remember what? We were just watching TV one night. It was just before Christmas, and I was just check my emails. Going for BBC Sports. I thought, is this a wind up? And I'm like, I only read like the first 2 lines, okay? And I said, I've been nominated for BBC Sports Personality of the Year. And what's that? I mean, it's massive. It's basically. I was talking about, right, you need to get a new dress, and I need to buy a bow tie, blah, blah, blah. And I carried on. Where I was ringing she rang her mum up and stuff like that. And I got right down to the bottom, and it says, "But unfortunately, you didn't quite make." I was like, "You're that dress, I promised you, babes. We ain't go there." But I was, I said it's a good thing to be nominated.
When you think about it, like I say, I mean, yes, I had the chance because I was 2017 when I won for our area.
Yeah.
And as brilliant it is winning for our own area, the national went to a lady called Denise. But the experience, you know, it wasn't about winning the national. We met sports stars, we met personalities, we met.
It's a great. Yeah, that's what I was looking. Invited.
But when it comes down to being nominated, I mean, I've been nominated for other things, and it's not gone past the shortlisting, you know. But they've let you know, and that's nice. People are thinking of you and wanting you to be thanked, basically, for what you do, which is nice.
Exactly. It's nice to be nominated. Like you said, someone's thinking about you, and I got invited to the Zoom. Kind of, it's not the same, but
not the free drinks and food.
No, I've just gone just for a night out, and it would have been bloody awesome. We've got I know you. Marcel's a good friend of Marcel Baz here in Nottingham, who
he won the year before.
Won the year before, yeah, great guy. Do you know what I mean? What the things he does for his community is unbelievable. He's got a lot of kids off the street out of gang crime and things like that. And like yourself, mate, he helps people, and you can't fault that, can you?
Well, I met him face to face the night before the actual awards. He was in Liverpool that year, and the BBC had put us up in a hotel for 2 nights. You know, all food was paid for on that, and that's when I met him for the first time. And then I just stayed in touch with him, and of course he did his skip marathon.
Yeah,
came down to me.
Yeah, I met you there.
Yeah. And I went to support that, and it snowed, so I thought I better go home because it's an hour and a half away. But it was again the people you meet, and this is the same with martial arts in general. You know, I've met fantastic people just like yourself, Lucci. You're one of my favourite guys in martial arts. I'm telling you.
Thank you very much.
You know, it's
a lot of people disagree with you, but thank you very much.
Well, you do. You meet some great people, and
it's nice to things like Kaizen and the martial arts sport, kids with cancer. We've done a lot of seminars together. It's nice because it does bring us all together. And man, so it's brilliant.
Yeah,
a great achievement, Stuart.
Thank you.
Especially coming from a martial artist as well.
Yeah, really, I am very proud.
It really is, mate.
I spent a lot of years now. I saw one. If anyone is watching this, hopefully, when it goes out, my message is because I see things about martial arts. We're supposed to be humble, and we can be humble, but we can also be proud of our achievements. Now, I don't go around walking into places where you look at me. No, that's not what it's about. I just like to wear my achievements with pride. I wear my Dan bars on my belt for me, nobody else. If you don't like me wearing it, then I'm sorry if it offends you. You know, I'm not trying to go, look at me, I'm mad. No, I'm showing you I'm dedicated to my art. You know, I'm not going to get in the ring and beat everyone that I fight. No, I'm not. I'm dedicated to my art. And that's what my bars tell me. I've gone through 10 gradings between the Taekwondo and kickboxing. I've done 10 gradings. And they're not easy. You know, you put yourself through it. I've done it a lot of years now.
Not our age.
Starting to age, you know.
Not our age, is it? It's like you get to your 50 degree thing. Oh, I put my feet up now. You know, I just call myself a black belt. I'm just a black belt these days because I think that's a bit of a grey area. Downgrade's a grey area. It can be,
but at the end of the day, everyone should be proud of their achievements. If they know that they've put hundreds of all their effort into something and they've achieved it, then they should just be proud.
Well, you've got a great school anyway.
Thank you.
I've been myself. Your students are very polite and they're well respected guys, and
I am proud of them. I miss them so much.
I would be. You got a really good bunch, and I always say you can only be as good as the person leading you, can't you?
Thank you.
And you can only be. Do you know what I mean? You can only be as good as your manager. You can only be good as your martial arts teacher, your school. You can only be as good as that person who's leading you. And your students. When I was teaching them that time, they was all very polite people and very humble and really Really
to
cool.
hear.
Yeah, really,
It's
really.
like hearing about your kids, isn't it? When someone says your kids have been polite and very
Yeah,
well, no, it's nice. It's just the same. And
yeah,
I
yeah.
feel that as that instructor, that I should lead by that example. I
Exactly.
mean, one of the reasons
Yeah.
why I went to South Korea to train, which when I unfortunately missed the Kaizen, didn't I? Because I was in South Korea.
It's
I
a
was training
no-brainer,
on.
Stuart. Well, it's on my list to talk about, mate.
Yeah,
That is a
it's.
no. That is a no-brainer, right?
But I still took the Kaizen to South Korea, mate, didn't I? Took it.
Exactly. Do I go to Kaizen or do I train in an art I've done for years and years in the country where it all started? Mate, it's a no-brainer. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, it was on the day of Kaizen.
Yeah.
But your reps were there, Mark were there, all your guys were there. It was that, sorry to say, mate, you missed a really good one, to be honest, man.
Oh, I've seen that. When I do look at it, I'm well jealous, But
Make
it was great.
sure you're not at South Korea. Right. What was it like being a Taekwondo instructor and also a Taekwondo student training in the motherland of where it all started? It must have been.
I was definitely
Surely.
I was definitely only a Taekwondo student. There was in no way was I an instructor out there. And it's well, I mean, it's like with anything you're into. If you go to the motherland and train with the people that created it, I mean, these 80-year-old ninth dans that can kick faster and higher and harder than any young person that I've seen. It's amazing. So fit and healthy. There was one. He was a pain. He was a pain. So we got started. We got into the flow of it, and I think it was the first full day of training.
Yeah.
And now we got up at 7:30. We did exercises on the grass in front of the building. It looks like a hotel. In Muju Mountains. We met at the Cookie one, which is headquarters. We drove 3 hours to the Muju Mountains, where they've got much like a temple, but it looks to be like a hotel, modernised. But they've got all these dojangs, all these training halls. And so we'd done this morning exercise. We went for a bit of breakfast, and then we're straight into class. And it was the Taekwondo forms, the colour belt forms. And there's 8 that you do before you go for your black belt. And we hammered every one. And all we was getting was like short water breaks. We had a 50-minute dinner in between, and then we're supposed to finish at 6:30. So it was a long day anyway.
Yeah.
Well, this guy, he pretty much old school, I'd call him, as close as old school as I've ever witnessed. He basically walks in, everyone was scared of him. Literally, they knew who he was. I didn't know who he was. They were scared of him. He told them to turn the aircon off. He says, we're having natural airflow in here. We was in the middle of the Muju Mountains, 30 degrees, no wind. There was no natural airflow. So all the aircon had gone. My dobok, my uniform, you could see my tattoo on my back through it by the end of the day. Sweat that was pouring off me. I lost loads of weight. But it was brilliant. And the thing is, 6:30, we'd done all that training. And he says, you're all going to fail. He says, I think you should come back after your tea and train some more. These 2 guys are the best 2 out of, we had a team of 50, which were, was it 4th dans, 5th dans, and at the time I was 4th dan cookie one. I'm actually 4th dan cookie one. I was 5th dan BTA at the time. And then you had the higher grades, so up to year 8th and 9th dans, 6th, right, in the other group. So in our group, there's about 50 in our group, and he chose 2 that he thought were any good. He said, they'll come back and help you after your tea. It was there till 10:30 at night going through the patterns all over again. And it was, boy, did I sleep that night. Did I sleep? And it was not an easy place to sleep as well. I was away from my family in a strange country.
Yeah.
My cash card wouldn't work, so I didn't think I had any money. Luckily, I met a friend who I used to teach his family years ago, and he was there at the same time and earned his master's rank, Master Richard Stevenson. And he helped me a lot, sort of getting me out of the pickle. Master Aftab Hussein, I think he's based down south, and I'm probably not right saying where he's from, but he was the one that sort of pushed me and invited me to go on the course anyway, and he helped me out a lot because I was in a pickle, being in a country far away from home and no money. I took money with me, but it wasn't enough to cover things. So big thank you to them guys for helping me out. But after it all got sorted, I absolutely loved it. And I met some great masters out there. We've all stayed in touch, or most of us.
Yeah.
And it was just one of them experiences. If you do get a chance to go, and it does cost a bit, but if you do get a chance to go, wherever if you go to Japan, if you know, all that lot, I would recommend for a lifetime experience. And thanks to my wife and kids really for letting me go. Really.
It's nice to have that support, isn't it? That family, yeah, it's brilliant. But my wife can't stand martial arts; she hates it. But the support's there, and you know,
I'm quite lucky because my
your wife trains as well, don't she?
Well, she's fourth Dan. She got that when I got my sixth. My son, just before lockdown, we managed to do a black belt grading, although it wasn't an official BTA one. I did it as just my club. The BTA one got cancelled because we were just going into lockdown. So we really did a lot to control it, and we did all the cleaning of the chairs, spaced out. We only let one person in with a couple of family members at a time. I had about 7 students, I think, that was going for grades. And we managed it really well. And my son went for 3rd Poom. Now, I know there's also big debates about children earning black belts. In Taekwondo, junior rank is called Poom. It's like a black belt cadet.
Yeah.
So it's not full, but it is a black belt. To be honest with you, they got pushed just as much as the adults did. They did exactly the same as the adults did. The same requirements.
Yeah.
And in the Korean rules, once they reach a certain age, they can't go above 4th Poom. So if they're too young, if they're under 18, they can't go above 4th. They have to stay. But once they reach an age it's allowed, it changes to Dan.
Yeah.
Now, some places regrade. Yeah, and I have asked my students to come back when we next can put a BTA grading on to prove in front of the grandmasters what I saw that they agree with, if you like. So they've got the arts grading, they'll get the BTA grading from there, you know. So it's working around the situation we're in.
I've seen your son train, and if there's a young man who deserves a black belt, it's definitely. He's got some great kicks, and he's very
dynamic, very athletic.
Very on it. He's very on it. Yeah. But nice fun. What a tough family, mate. Brilliant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, mum. An issue is mum, dad, black. But I've got 6 older brothers, and 5 of us are at Dan grade in jiu-jitsu.
Nice.
Yeah. And my mother always used to say, I've got 7 sons, and not one of you can play football. And we come from Italian family. She all right, bless her. She all right. Let's go. Okay, all right. Let's go right to the beginning, Stuart. Right to the beginning. How did your martial art career? You have got genuinely a lovely family.
Thank you.
You know, wife trains. You probably got the hardest family on your street. How did it all start, my friend? Did you?
Right.
Let's go. Let's go. How did it all start with you?
Well, with me,
how we got the family in.
It was literally as a young child. I was, and this is the sort of story behind the Unsung Hero as well. Yeah. I was bullied. I was bullied as a child. I always had it in me to try and fight back, I think, but I didn't have confidence. And when I think I seemed to go to try and make friends with the wrong people, if you like, the ones that pretended to be your friends. Yeah. And that actually followed me right into adult life. I'm 45 now, and I'm only really realising who real friends are. You know, it's a tough lesson to learn. But so a young lad, getting bullied, started getting a bit beaten up, and I just remember going home, bleeding nose, crying. And my dad was going to go out and try and find some. Dad, no, you know, you can't do that. But my dad helped me set things up, and I literally got a thick plastic bag full of magazines, and hung it off the washing line, and I punched it till my knuckles bled. I must have only been, would I be 10 years old? 10-year-old, really young, you know. I was so adamant that I wanted to learn to fight, to defend myself, but I didn't have the heart. Yeah, I had it up here, but I didn't have the heart. When I was around about that age, my mum thought karate and taekwondo and them type styles were too dangerous, so she took me to judo, thinking it was safer. But I did that for a short while, and I do respect everything I learned, but I do think I'm a stand-up fighter. I like to move around, throw kicks. I've got a lot of respect for groundwork fighting. And I do wish I'd followed an art that had, you know, like you have your sets of self-defense moves. I do wish I'd done some of that, had time to do that. But anyway, so moving on, getting a bit older. I didn't do judo for very long. Like I say, my heart wasn't in actual fighting. Then you get into older school, and you know the bullying follows you. I started to start standing up for myself, but not fully. I tried avoiding it best I could. It always found you sometime. I do remember one story I tell my students where every morning, this guy, every time I walked past him going to class, boom, he'd barge into my shoulder. Every morning, barge into my shoulder. Till one morning I went, good morning, and he didn't know what to do. He was like, good morning. And he just flummoxed him. He just totally shocked him that I'd said good morning to him. Sounds lame, but it worked. Yeah. Anyway, it didn't last long. He still came back for me. So really, I didn't start proper training until I met my wife. So it was early 20s, we got together. She'd done some self-defense classes when she was at college. Yeah. She went to uni, come back. I've actually known her since we was 13. Or I was 13. But you know, later in life, we get together, and we got married in 2000. I was 24. And soon after, she says, right, I want to start doing this. I've got myself a taekwondo class at a local club, but I don't want to go on my own. We come for moral support. Now, having a lifetime passion for martial arts, as a young lad watching, this was another thing about trying to build my own confidence up. I would watch films, and then the friends that I did have would go in the back garden and practice them. Yeah. You know, we'd watch the Bruce Lee films. We'd watch all the cheap, probably was rated 18, but we was watching them, you know. But then we was trying the skills out in the garden. But anyway, so she says, come for moral support. And I went, right. I was intrigued, but I was a bit embarrassed. I was a bit older, and you know, right, okay. So I sat there. But what they did was they took my wife into like an office thing to try out separate to a class, and they asked if I wanted to go as well. And it was a bit of a sales pitch. The club ended up being a bit more money orientated, if I'm honest. But they took me in, they got me excited about it, and I never looked back since. As soon as we had that introduction, I was back at home, and I was whoa, giving it all this stuff in front of a mirror at the age of about 24. So I was hooked, absolutely hooked. We signed up. There was a great team was developed there within that. Although the club did end up being a bit more money orientated, the team that was in it, that was doing it, you know, volunteering, that I became, as I went through my grades and became a black belt, I ended up being on that team. And we stay in touch, we're good friends. We just it was just my life, that was it. And I was doing it 6 times a week. So I was going after work. I got invited to help out on leadership teams. Then I was running small sessions as a high rank. I wasn't the instructor, but I was an assistant. Yeah. And then basically ended up being an instructor. Unfortunately, communication breakdown with the actual master that owned the place, and arguments, and you start to see things. I don't want to be negative and be unprofessional. Yeah. I don't mind anybody making a living out of something they've trained hard to do, but I didn't agree with it. I didn't like it, and they did quite a lot of the other instructors, and we all left. I then did a little bit of ITF Taekwondo, which WTF was my style. Yeah. Well, there's ITF as well. It was all one initially, and the Kwans, they all had arguments and they split, and there's a history behind that. But I was doing WTF. I did ITF for about 10 months, and I went back to WTF, and I was an instructor. I'd already got my black belt, so I was instructing and training. That's when I picked up my kickboxing, and it just really went from there. And it's always been a part of my life since then. Passionately as a young person, but actually as a young adult, you know, getting to be an old man now.
Yeah, it's a shame, you know, going back to associations breaking up. I've seen it it's not just Taekwondo. It's everybody, isn't it?
Yeah.
A lot of art. I remember being in a room and two head coaches were arguing over a kata, a jiu-jitsu kata, a tonfa, right. the Japanese weapon, the tonfa. They was arguing over, no, it's that way, no, it's that way, and they had a massive fight in front of about 45 students, all black belts. Honestly, it was like they had a massive full-on argument over a kata. I'm like,
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
bloody hell, what? Really? You know what I mean? Anyway, like the same in your situation, a lot just went off and done their own thing, and
well, that's what I've found with the BTA. You know, it's
yeah,
there's still been ups and downs, but I've stuck with these affiliations basically because the people that's in it,
yeah,
we have the seminars together. We're hoping that we've got this Bill Superfoot Wallace seminar going ahead. You know, we've got it booked.
fingers
And
crossed.
yeah, fingers crossed that we have that.
Yeah.
And just getting these guys together, we're going to have invited guests, you know, and you know, yourself will be invited too.
Yeah, definitely.
But once we know that it can definitely go ahead and we start selling the tickets, it is for charity. Once we know that goes ahead, it'd be nice getting these people back together after such a long period of time.
Yeah.
And that's what I liked. That's why I've stuck with the affiliations, is because when we all got together, you know, there was some good stuff going on, you know.
Yeah,
and we had the training camps, but I'm meeting lots of new people as well, you know. What do you call him, Master Matt Norwood Sensei, Andy Abernathy Sensei. I think you know Andy.
Yeah.
Baker, John Sharp, all these guys. So new friends I've met through various seminars, and we've all kind of stayed in touch. Bob as well, you know. So yeah, there's a few.
Yeah, you go in as a stranger, don't you? And you come out with loads of contacts, loads of Facebook contacts, and loads of yeah, exactly. It's how we do things.
Yeah, absolutely. And that, I suppose, when you look back to my past, and when you start thinking of establishing friendships, and then you realise them friendships are fake friendships, I think that's why I've really gelled to the martial arts. And although there's still in anything you do, there's good people, there's bad people. But I think I've found, you know, the people that I've stayed in touch with, such as yourself, you know, good people. I have a kinship with them, and they take me as I am. So yeah.
I always say you're everything you do on like social media, it reflects on you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's
Thank you. Thanks, man.
You don't need to like say, oh, it's them and them from that social. If you can do it themselves, give them enough piece of rope, they're not banging on yourself, and you know, people say that, but I'm afraid it's going to be that type of stuff in martial arts in our industry is going to be around for a long time. It's going to be around for a long time, I'm afraid, and it's just something just goes over my head these days, to be honest with you. And I think it's the best thing. You know, my main priority is putting on a really good show again, and a playground for martial artists to go meet up and beat each other up for a laugh. Do you know what I mean? learn things and network and, you know, things like that. It's the Kaizen way. I have no problems with it, no other shows. I wish them all the best, and I hope they wish me the best too. And it's good for our industry. Let's touch on your kickboxing, mate. What's got a fourth dan in kickboxing? I did. Let me just ask quickly get this in, Stuart. You're quite a tall guy, all right. And I was thinking when you was doing your judo, and I'm a jiu-jitsu guy, and I was really always taller than everybody else, and I had some really good kicks. And for a jiu-jitsu guy, I had some really good kicks. Then I got married, got fat and bald. All right, them days are over. Yeah, but doing the judo, did you find it difficult because you were so tall? Or, just a random question that is, mate, because I people ask me that you're quite tall to do, because I was told you're quite tall because we're bending down doing hip throws and shoulder throws and
I think having a high center of gravity, isn't it? I think my problem was I was young and I was scared to fight. If I'd have had a bit more of what I know now back then, it would be a different story. I do remember I had someone had me in the kind of call it Kezakatami. It's like on the floor.
On the floor.
And I was being told to bridge to try and get out of it, to get my shoulder off the floor. And I think it was one of them moments that, whether you call it you're in a chi or whatever, what I did was I grabbed them and I flipped them over. Now, a young, skinny lad, not really a lot of muscle on me at the time, and I rolled and just dragged. I didn't flip. I dragged them over, and I suppose that gave me a bit of leverage that I was able to do that one time. I only did that one time. But I do think with anything that you put your mind to, or anything that you're doing, regardless of what it is, if it's not here and it's not here, you're not going to necessarily succeed as well as you want to. You've got to have heart. You've got to have the mind on it. You've got to focus. And I think because I'd always imagined being a stand-up fighter, judo, that's why judo didn't stick with me when I was younger. And when you're younger, it is harder to keep. I mean, I'm really impressed that my club has been running over 6 years now, and I've still got some people that have initially, quite a few people that started with me. They're doing the black belts with me. I've got the first person to ever sign up with me still training with us, and that just it's really nice thing to have.
Yeah. I've seen it a lot. Instructors leaving their instructors and just going. Don't know why. You know what I mean? For it's not nice to see. And you gotta question, haven't you? You gotta question yourself. Am I doing something wrong? Do you know what I mean? Why am I? For me, I'm quite lucky. I've got about 80 students, and I keep it at that level all the time. And I've managed to keep it at that level. It's where I'm comfortable with. I don't want no more. I'm not the biggest academy in my area. I'm not the smallest either. I'm where I am. I'm happy, and everything's, and we're all happy, and it's all nice. But one bad move can just the lot goes.
I mean, this is going to really be challenging for all of us. Being locked down for so long, it's only going to be the dedicated to come back, isn't it? And also you find it's easy for a parent to push a child, which is good. But will an adult push themselves? That's more challenging.
Precisely. So, especially the teenage market. The teenage market's a killer. Yeah. It's a killer in our industry, into the teenage market. I had a little break when I was a teenager. You know what I mean? Football, mates, going to the match on Saturday or training. You know what I mean? Going out Friday nights, going out Saturday nights, training Sunday morning at 18 years old when you're discovering pubs and that.
That's it. Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? Music concerts, it's easily done, but that teenage market's really, really tough. So So you kickboxing, 4th degree black belt kickboxing, and it's you've got some good instructors under there, and let's talk about.
Grandmaster Mark Trent. My Grandmaster Mark Trent. He's done a seminar at Kaizen as well, and
hidden gem. He's one of the hidden gems, I think. Because
I remember doing seminars with him, and the black belt, he runs like a seminar. So there's the candidates, and then there's students that help out. But everyone's trained together. But obviously, it's the black belts that are focused on, and I think it used to be 3 hours, and then it went up to 4 hours. And you're doing solid techniques, solid sparring, fitness. We're doing 1,000 exercises after we've done 4 hours of training, and then after that, you've got to break boards, and you've got to break them on the first go, or you lose points and things like that. And it's from the taekwondo and the kickboxing, they're all very challenging. But what I find is taekwondo is very technical, and the kickboxing is very fitness orientated. You've still got elements of both in each. You've still got the fitness and the technical with each art. But when I've been fighting, sparring, whether it be, I've done competitions. They're not my favourite thing, if I'm honest. I don't do this for medals. But I have done competitions. I've won some, lost some. drew a couple. But for me, it's in class when you're with your mates, or even new students, or new black belts that you've not trained with before. It's all exciting. You end up friends afterwards. But I've brought the taekwondo kickboxing together. It's helped me. So although there's different rules, and in my taekwondo style, you can't punch to the face. You can in ITF, but you can only do straight punch. But when you're doing kickboxing, of course, you've got all your punches. So being able to adapt between them two arts, depending on my situation, I think has helped me. So if I was in a situation, stand up, fight out in the streets to defend my family, I think I've got a lot of tools to use. You could argue, get him down to the floor, what will he do? Well, I've had that situation. I just bit him in the shoulder and the guy screamed. But this was when I was way younger. But no, get him on the floor. And I do not have the skills like with the jiu-jitsu. So if I came up against a jiu-jitsu guy, that's me gone. That's me wiped out. I'm sure of it. But I have tried to retain some skills, because the average Joe that thinks there's something, then have a go, then you can defend yourself or your family. If you are, it's like going against a knife fighter. I mean, I have done knife defense just for a pure little bit of something different.
Yeah.
If you're absolutely stuck, this is what some knowledge is better than no knowledge, but it can be dangerous having knowledge as well. If you think you're going to tackle that knife and succeed without getting cut, you're wrong. You're totally wrong. So it's one of them things. Although I followed the stand-up style of martial arts, I do have that respect for all other styles, because you can't learn it all. I've said this on interviews before. You just simply can't learn it all.
No.
So that's why like the Kaizen.
There's not enough years in a lifetime, is there?
There isn't.
Right.
And the fact you get to go to Kaizen and see all these different styles and train with all these different styles, yeah, it's something special, that Lucci. Yeah. Keep that going.
Mark, go back to Mark. Mark, I'd say Mark Trent. He generally is a hidden gem, isn't it? And it was. I mean, the feedback at Kaizen, who's this guy, man? Bloody hell, who's this guy? And one thing I pride myself of is bringing hidden gems to Kaizen and finding them and researching and do you know what I mean? Training with them myself and just getting them out, because sometimes you got to grab people like Mark Trent and say, look, people want to see you train. Get on me. Do you know what I mean? There's another guy, Robbie as well, in I can't. Wellham, down Wellham way. I had to grab him. Look, come on. No, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. Get on the bloody mat. Of course you're good enough. Go on, get on. Do you know what I mean? These guys are like, they're so like, nah, I'm not bothered about all that. I'm the guy what grabs them and go, yeah, you are. And I'm going to put you in front of the martial arts community.
That's it.
To show these guys what you can do. And Mark Trent comes under that category of one of my hidden gems.
He's got a good history as
he's a good coach, man. It's to top it all off, he's a mint coach as well.
Good stuff.
But Stuart, I could talk to you all night, and it's great talking to you.
You too,
and
man.
Once again, thanks for supporting Kaizen. And
anytime,
guys, you will see Stuart at Kaizen. He will be bringing his boards, no doubt, and doing his taekwondo, and also his kickboxing and karate coach, Master Mark Trent, who generally is a hidden gem. I'm hoping we'll chuck him on the mat as well.
Good to get him back.
We'll be good to get him back, and I'm sure he'll come along. He'll come along anyway. He's said already. He's been in touch, and he said he's
cool.
So real good. So Stuart, how can people get in touch with you?
Well, there is websites. There's the British Taekwondo Association website, which any messages go straight to Grandmaster Mark for that. Messing and Martial Arts, you can Google that. Stuart Usher, Master Stuart Usher.
Yeah.
And you can certainly easily Google search that. I'm fairly easily found. But I'm sure if they know you and want to get in touch for any reason, I'm sure you'd pass on my details.
Absolutely, we'll do. We'll do this again, Stuart. We'll have you back on again. The plan is to carry on with these in February. March, I've got another project, another product to work on, and a project to work on as well. So I've got March. I'm quite busy, so I'm gonna give it a little rest in March and probably pick it up again around April, May time. We'll definitely have you on because there's more to talk about with Taekwondo. Yeah. We've not even spoke about Olympics, and we'll save that for next time. But
okay.
Thank you, my friend, and we'll see you at Kaizen. Take care.
See you, Kaizen.